guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to
Biggest betrayals in European basketball history. I have no idea what this video is about. Let's see.
Ever wondered what happens when a player decides to join the biggest rival team in Europe? Well,
Oh, they joined the rivalry. Okay.
over the years, European basketball has seen some truly shocking moves,
what
and
are
we'll
some
go
big
through the
rivalries that you know of?
Well, in Lithuania is Kaunas versus Vilnius.
Mm-hmm.
That's a rivalry. Honestly, I don't know. I'm not too familiar.
Oh,
most infamous ones. Make sure to watch until the end because the last guy managed to hop 4
So apparently they said this guy's Lithuanian. This channel is run by a Lithuanian.
Really?
Yeah. You
what's
see,
his name again?
I don't know his name,
Mm.
but his you see the Lithuanian jersey behind the flag.
Yes.
rival teams in 4 years in a row. Now, we have to start with Vassilis Spanoulis. He is the man behind one of, if not the most dramatic transfers in European basketball history. Most definitely the biggest in Greek basketball, as jumping ship between two huge rivals, Panathinaikos and Olympiakos, is considered a huge sin. We're talking about one of the most passionate
You
basketball
know, his
nations.
name almost sounds a Lithuanian.
Yeah, I can see it.
Where fans can go over the line sometimes. It's even more serious when the player making that move is Greek and does it after winning the EuroLeague title just a season prior. Well, that's exactly what Spanoulis did in the summer of 2010. His contract with Panathinaikos expired, he was not satisfied with the role he had in that star-studded roster, so once green now turned red. And what followed then was a lot of heat from the Panathinaikos fans. We're talking about the early 2010s, so it was still a bit more wild, but also these were the times when online forums were the place where you would find the reactions, and those were obviously brutal. Spanoulis was labeled a traitor and became public enemy #1 for Paul's Ultras Gate 13.
Damn.
This is the reception he got when
I can see that, like, the same thing here in the States when I think LeBron left Cleveland to go to Miami and then people started burning
Oh
his
yeah,
jersey.
yeah. They started burning his jersey. You know,
Calling him a
yeah,
traitor. I
yeah.
wonder if he ever went back.
Oh, him? Oh, I don't know.
he returned to his former home, Oaxaca, but this time wearing the colors of the rival.
Wow.
But on the flip side, he also evolved into the undisputed leader and face of Olympiakos. Having more minutes and a bigger role, he led them to back-to-back EuroLeague titles in 2012 and 13, before retiring in 2021 as a true
was
legend
worth it
of the
then.
club. Later, Spanoulis revealed he always wanted to play for Olympiakos even before signing with Pau, as he wanted to, quote-unquote, lead a team that had not achieved anything in recent years and help it succeed in my own way. Next on the list
I
of
mean, how can you be mad at him? You know, he went if he wanted a bigger role and the team wouldn't let him have the role.
Yeah.
Why is he supposed to stay there? You know,
Mm-hmm.
it would be different if he went for the same role. You know, maybe okay, but he wanted a bigger role, so he wanted to grow. You know, personal growth. I don't have a problem with that.
of betrayals is Kostas Sloukas. This one's relatively
Are they
fresh,
all
so we're
Greek?
still witnessing the aftermath. Basically, it goes like this. Sloukas grew up at Olympiakos as he
Looks
signed
like
with
all
them at the
Greeks.
age of 18 and went all the way to the titles with Spanoulis in 2012 and 2013. Then he left for Fenerbahce in 2015, spent 5 years there, picked up another EuroLeague title in 2017, and returned to Olympiakos in 2020. He helped Piraeus' team reach the EuroLeague Final Four in 2022, then did the same in 2023, where he was a shot away from winning the title for the Reds. And then comes the summer of 2023. Rumor after rumor piles up, and Sloukas ends up signing with Panathinaikos. This sparked a full-scale meltdown among Olympiakos fans. We are talking jersey burning, social media
Wow.
tirades, labeling him the ultimate backstabber, or nicknaming him Slukash. I'm assuming you get the message behind that one. And sure enough, the Sloukas signing reignited the rivalry between the two Greek clubs. Not only did Panathinaikos sign him, but also filled up their roster with other big EuroLeague names, added Kendrick Nunn from the NBA, and before you know it, Sloukas was now leading the Greens into the Final Four. A Final Four featuring both Greek clubs in the German capital. While those two teams didn't get to face each other, Kostas Sloukas still managed to win the EuroLeague title in his first year after the move to Panathinaikos. Now, speaking of early crossovers, let's rewind all the way back to the 90s and give a quick nod to Žarko Paspalj. Some younger fans, including myself before, might not fully grasp how big of a deal he was. But in the early 1990s, Paspalj was one of Europe's best forwards, and his time with Olympiakos played a key part in the club's resurgence. Then, in the summer of 1994, he joins Panathinaikos directly. Back then, this direct
So
switch
the whole list is Olympiacos versus Panathinaikos, huh? That's what we're doing? Okay.
Was almost unheard of. Olympiacos had been on the rise and Paspalj was a major factor in it. So to see him suddenly wearing green felt like a huge betrayal. The press at the time covered it as a stunning and somewhat confusing move. Although he only spent one season with Panathinaikos, it was enough to cause waves for years to come. Many fans date these large-scale traitor narratives back to Paspalj. And while opinions remained split, as some recognized he was just seizing an opportunity, this move definitely laid the groundwork for the kind of meltdown we saw with Spanoulis and Sloukas years later. Just before I continue, make sure to check out our partners Rabona. With our promo code BasketNews, you'll get a deposit over to Spain where %. All the info is in the description below. Now that Greece is done, let's hop over to Spain where we find Dejan Bodiroga.
Oh, so I guess he's doing like a country by country segments. Okay, got it.
Bodiroga was a Real Madrid player from 1996 to 1998, and he was a star. Then after a stint with Panathinaikos where he won multiple EuroLeague titles, he moved to FC Barcelona in 2002. This move from one El Clasico side to another has happened plenty of times, but mostly in football, where it was much bigger than in basketball. Anyways, it was still seen as a big deal, even though there was a bit of a gap in between. Once a Madridista, always a Madridista, and Bodiroga basically said, sorry, I'm a culé now. He then made history by leading Barcelona to their first EuroLeague title in 2003, which only deepened the hatred from Real fans. If Bodiroga's switch was overshadowed by that multi-year gap, there was another guy who also took a 5-year detour, but it was to the NBA. I'm talking about Nikola Mirotic. He grew up in Real Madrid's academy, became a star with them, headed to the NBA in 2014, and returned to Europe in 2019. Everyone assumed if he came back to Spain, Real had to be his landing spot. Surprise, surprise, he signs with FC Barcelona instead. Again, in football, this would have been much bigger, so Mirotic got away with kind of a mild reaction. Sure, there were more boos in Madrid for their homegrown talent, but it's nothing compared to Serbia. There we have the Partizan-Crvena Zvezda rivalry, which in my eyes is the most intense in European basketball. Now, for a casual basketball fan, the name Luka Bogdanovic might not be saying much, but essentially he was the guy whose moves sparked the betrayal narrative in Serbia. You see, before, let's say in the 90s, going from Zvezda to Partizan or vice versa wasn't a huge deal. But then, a top Serbian prospect who started his pro career at Crvena Zvezda decided to switch camps. And just like that, going from one Belgrade team to the other became a huge taboo. Although the guy who received the worst of it was probably Milan Gurovic. He played for Partizan during the 04-05 season. The Grobari, Partizan's hardcore fans, supported him pretty much through everything, including a situation where he was banned from entering Croatia due to his nationalist tattoos. But the team's management seemingly didn't, as they terminated his contract just a couple of months in. Whilst at first Gurovic had only positive feedback on his time with Partizan, it later became quote-unquote the worst decision of his life. As you can imagine, those kind of quotes definitely spark a reaction. The reaction is even greater if you then actually join the biggest rival, which he did in 2005. By 2007 in the Serbian League finals, they were insulting his family with chants from the stands, which triggered Gurovic to call them cattle on TV. Deliet, the Red Star fans responded by chanting, "You are Zvezda's Chetnik, Milan," which has a historical meaning but also basically meant you are a part of the Red Star family now. And so Gurovic shed a tear, which then of course got mocked by Partizan fans. Yeah, the level of emotional toll that the players go through in Serbia is on a different level. Moving north to Lithuania, Antanas Kavaliauskas' case hits close to home for me as a Lithuanian who saw this drama unfold in real time. The guy was playing for Lietuvos Rytas Vilnius, the arch nemesis of Žalgiris Kaunas. Not only that, but he was the captain of the team who led them as underdogs to a cup title in 2016, winning the MVP trophy. But even that's not it. That same year, he famously went on the record saying, "I will never play for Žalgiris." I think you know where this goes next. Yup, the very next season Kavaliauskas signs with Žalgiris like it's no big deal. No big deal to him, of course, since the fans immediately called him a traitor who sold out and basically turned on him overnight. In his return to Vilnius, he
Listen, it's all about the money at the end of the day. It's...
So how much they had to pay him to say,
I don't know, but he probably got more money, and it is what it is. Everybody got to look out for themselves, so how can you blame them, for switching teams?
It's a good strategy.
It's like, it's... There's no loyalty. Like, if anything, what Luka Doncic trade shows that teams ain't loyal to you, don't be loyal to the teams either. So just, look out for yourself.
He was greeted by this huge poster basically comparing him to a stereotypical politician who says one thing but then does the opposite. I guess never say never is more applicable than ever with this one. Finally, we get to the man who took all these betrayals to a different level, Dino Radja. First of all, after returning from his brief NBA stint, he joined Panathinaikos in 1997. He plays there for a few years, then goes to Zadar in Croatia for a year and returns to, you guessed it, Greece. But not to rejoin PAO, of course. Instead, he joined Olympiakos for a year, and finally, to backstab yet another fanbase, he then jumped to Cibona in 2001. Zadar-Cibona is another giant rivalry in the Balkans, so in the span of just 4 years, he suited up for 4 sets of rivals across 2 countries. Of course, we could also add he was a legendary member of Jugoplastica Split, which is yet another Croatian team. So in a sense, Radja didn't bother himself with what the fans thought. Maybe because he was widely considered one of the best European bigs of his generation. So sure, fans might have felt betrayed, but at the same time there was this sense of, well, he's Dino Radja, at least he got to play for our club a little bit. And that wraps up the list of 9 transfers from one rival to another. Which of these do you see as the biggest betrayal?
Interesting list. A lot of Balkans. Basically the whole list. 1 Lithuanian, 2 Spanish, and the rest was Balkans. I guess the rivalries are real serious over there.
Yeah. Wow. Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.